Hello, it's Adonis Turner of Adonis Power and Conditioning, and I wanted to make a quick video for you guys about goal setting. Goal setting is a basic thing that you want to have day in and day out. You always want to have goals for your job, your wife, your kids, yourself, or you won't know how to progress in what area, and you won't be able to hold yourself accountable going forward in whatever you're trying to accomplish in life. Life's short, so you don't want to just take life day to day just to get by. You want to strive for excellence in everything you do. So like if an excellent goal for you to have is just showing up to work on time, that's just one way in that you're going in to strive for excellence in what you're trying to accomplish. It doesn't have to be curing cancer or going to the moon or going to Pluto. It could be very, very basic, like waking up on time for church, going to school on time, doing all your homework, doing 2 workouts a week. It'd be very basic. Everyone's goals will be different, so it's up to you what you decide going forward. But there's 5 things I want you guys to understand before you start your goal setting process. So let's take a look at the board. First thing I want you guys to do, and I encourage you guys to do, is brainstorm why and what motivates you to keep going. My industry is the health industry, so generally speaking, people come with gain muscle, rehab, lose weight. There's various goals that come in. You have to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Because if you're doing it for someone or something, then it's most likely going to fail. Or if it does work, it'll work for a short period of time once that person or thing fades. So you want to have a sustainable goal that you can, or sustainable motivation that you can hold on to, and a sustainable reason that you can always refer back to every time you things get tough and the tough gets going. Because when the tough gets going, the weak quit. So you have to understand that phenomenon, that you have to be strong no matter what you're trying to accomplish, because it's usually a longer process than most people would like, to be honest. So focus on your why, write down your why, and then go from there. And then every time it gets tough, you refer back to your why. Education. I encourage people to read, research, and learn from others, because you are not the first person on earth, and most likely what you're trying to accomplish, someone else has already accomplished, and someone else has already failed at trying to accomplish in the midst of going towards that goal. So, for instance, for me, let's say, put me in this example. If I'm trying to lose weight, I'm going to try to get advice coupled with research from someone who has lost weight. I can't get advice from someone who has higher body fat than me, because that's a contradiction to what I'm trying to accomplish. If my goal was more financial based, if I wanted to go from 6 figures to 7 figures, if I was that type of person, that goal would be better associated with someone who is making 7+ figures. That way you can know exactly what to do, as opposed to just hearing something from someone who doesn't have the actual experience associated with what you're trying to accomplish. So learning from others is probably, depending on who you learn from, it could even be more important than research, because word of mouth is so strong, and seeing someone who is better than you can be more impactful than just reading a bunch of words. Realistic expectations, timed goals, and small victories. I am heavily against people rushing their goals, unless it's for, like, if you're a boxer trying to make weight, or if there's some sort of contest and you have to do it by a contest. And even then I'm against it, because you can't really rush the human body, at least not naturally. So if you're trying to build muscle, there's a certain process your body has to go through, and it's going to take however long it needs to take for you to get to your goal. It could take a year or 2 years. A lot of people don't like hearing that, but you really are not in a rush unless you want to be in a rush, and taking the time away from it really puts a lot of pressure, or takes a lot of pressure off of you, I should say. That way you don't have to worry about, okay, I have to do so and so in 30 days. You just focus on losing the weight, period. And then when you set small victories, like if you have to lose like 120 pounds, you set this small victory of losing 1 pound, or just focusing on losing the next pound, period. Like, I have a week or 2 weeks to lose this next pound, and if I do it, I know I'm going in the right direction. The point of goals is not to really try to get somewhere quick, but it's trying to steadily, over time, go in that direction. Brace yourself. Hard work and haters. hard work, as the cliche that everyone knows, hard work does indeed pay off. You have to put in the work, you have to put in the time, you have to put in the blood, sweat, and tears. Especially if you're going to a 4-year school, you have to compromise a lot of things as far as like maybe not talking to your boyfriend or girlfriend a couple hours a night, doing homework all hours a night. You really have to put in a lot of time, effort associated with that goal, because a lot of people before you did the exact same thing. They put in 3 hours of sleep, so on and so forth. If it's sports based, then it's the polar opposite as far as health. You have to have good nutrition, good workout regimen, and you also have to be eating right. You have to have enough fuel associated with your goals. So it's going to be hard work if you're someone who wants to be a 300-pound football player, but is currently 150 pounds. It's going to take you a long time. It's not going to take 2 months, 3 months. Going from 150 pounds to 300 pounds, that should probably take, naturally, 2 years. So you have to understand that hard work is unavoidable unless you walk into a great situation, depending on what the goal is. Haters. Not everyone's going to want you to succeed. Not everyone's going to want you to going forward. Not everyone's going to want you or is going to be comfortable with your success and your progress. Even the small success I've had with this gym, I've noticed a lot of people, without obviously giving any names out, that are just kind of like, no longer speaking with me or whatever the reason is. You have to understand that what you do in life, not everyone is going to be receptive of it. So you have to understand and go back to your why, that am I doing this for friends, or am I doing this because I want to, better my family, better my relationship with my husband, better my physical health, not go to the doctors, not get medication, rehab my knee. You have to always focus on the why, and the why has to be stronger than the people trying to get you from where you're trying to go. So really, every time you do one of these or apply one of these, whether it's the time goal, small victories, learn from others, always make sure it refers back to the why and is consistent with what you want to do. Because there will be the thing about this world we're in, if you don't know who you are as a person and don't know what you're trying to accomplish, the world will tell you who you are. So you have to be so solidified as who you are as a person, or your foundation is going to be weak and you'll be easily manipulated. So really watch out for this. I'm telling you now, so when it's happened, you're not like, oh, I'm so surprised my sister or my friend doesn't talk to me anymore after I lost 50 pounds. Now. You've been told. So, start your journey. Now, this is something that is all about you. And I don't say that conceitedly or facetiously. I say that as it's not about you going to work out with your friend. It's not about your people necessarily holding you accountable. This is you. This is you versus you. You look in the mirror and you're going against yourself. There is no, I'm trying to be somebody else. I'm trying to be better than someone else. I'm trying to be richer than someone else. I'm trying to have more abs than someone else. This is about you. This is about bettering yourself, because a lot of situations associated with health, as far as like genetics and things that play a role. So that's why you really want to focus on taking maybe a photo of where you start, and then maybe in 2 months after that, take another photo to see how much you progressed. That way you know that you've been better than where you were, and you're not necessarily focused on anyone else. So that's it, guys. Just as a recap, brainstorming about goal setting. You want to have a why, a strong why that you can always refer back to as you're progressing. You want to educate yourself before you wreck yourself, because if you don't know proper form, proper nutrition, you're just going to be spinning your wheels and you're not going to progress. Realistic expectations. You want to set small victories, and you kind of want to avoid time goals if you can help it. Small victories are what lead to larger victories, because if you lose a pound a week for 100 weeks, you lost 100 pounds. So you want to focus on reducing your big victories, or your big overall victory, to a small victory. Because if you come in to my gym and you say you want to lose 100 pounds, is it better to lose 100 pounds once, or 100 pounds 10 times, or 100 pound, let me start over. 100 pound once, or 1 pound 100 times. Because if you have is it better to have 100 victories, or is it better to have 1 victory? And I'll let you decide on the math on that one. Brace yourself. It's going to be hard work. There's going to be haters. There's going to be people that want to see you fail. That is the world we live in. That is the reality of it. You have to work hard, and if you want to get where you want to go, you have to refer back to your why, because your why is why you're doing this to begin with. You're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it to impress anyone. You're not doing it for a boyfriend. You're doing it for yourself. If you do it for a boyfriend or girlfriend, once that girlfriend or boyfriend fades, you will also fade, and your character will be basically nothing, because your character was built in somebody else as opposed to who you were. And that's pretty much it. Start your journey today. Write down 3 things that you want to accomplish this year. We're about halfway through the year, a little over halfway. And stay tuned for the next video. I'm going to do a lot more informational videos from here on out, and only 1 workout summary video. So thanks for watching, guys, and you guys have a good one. Peace.